Man, I'm high, it's like I'm tripping. Never was slipping on my bib in different countries, foreign women. Cause I be digging in the millions. Sending them killers, I'm calling them minions. Hitting these niggas, they feeling the vengeance. Shut the fuck up, we be sleeping in ditches. Deep in the trenches, Lord is my witness. I keep choppers on deck like a Haitian on a boat. Niggas hating when they smell my joke. With hoes, I do not smoke. Pistol gon' poke through the curtains, I'm ballers, you playing if you think I'm living a joke. Versing nigga versus me, homie, you don't want no smoke. I been too deep in the game, the chopper gon' aim and fixate a nigga's throat. I'm high in the joke, boy, I can never be broke. Broke niggas never be hot, broke niggas never be hot. Bro, niggas never see me, so you must not own a TV.
I love all the hate when you be dissing. I move out the way and let you think you're ripping the till. The minute that you reach your limit, and guess what, bitch, I'm just beginning. Victory flawless, then finish him. Misery calling, I know you can hear it. Me and King ballin'. Above the ribbon, still all your women. True shit, boy, I ain't tripping. I've been on my grind and I ain't slipping. Even the blind can see how I'm living. You living a lie. Look in your mind, I can see that it ain't nothing like mine. Close encounters of the third kind. Close my two, open third eye. Closed casket, now you know why.
What is going on, YouTube land? I am Chris Catalunya. Before we get into this shoe review today, go ahead and check out my Instagram, Chris Catalunya with the underscore at the end. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. And y'all already know the drill if you watched my previous videos as of late. So once we hit that 8,000 subscriber mark, I definitely want to do a giveaway and give back to the community. I plan to give away some of these items that are pretty hype. So I have a Supreme balaclava. It's like a face mask. It's done up in a black color. I have a Supreme Cat in the Hat tee in a size medium, and I have 3 Bape magazines that have accessories within them. So you have a wallet, you have the Bape Kids tote bag, and you have a Bape sling bag in this magazine. So again, once we hit that 8,000 subscriber mark, I just want to give back, and yeah, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. Alright guys, let's get into the shoe review. This, the Jordan 1 Retro OG, the Turbo Greens, this is a model that was released for NBA All-Star Weekend 2019, so this past weekend. And it isn't coincidence of the theming of the shoe, it takes after the Charlotte Hornet colors, which was the city hosting the NBA festivities, and which is also the team that Michael Jordan owns 90% of. The Jordan 1 Turbo Greens had a very wide release, being released at your typical mall shoe stores, on their respective apps, being released on the sneakers app, and being released to like your local sneaker boutiques. I was actually lucky to get the shoe. I escaped work for a little bit, headed over to Nice Kicks here in Austin, Texas, and entered their raffle. And I had to escape work because this shoe dropped on a Friday. There were actually a lot of people over there at Nice Kicks, but I'm really glad that my ticket got pulled for this particular shoe. They were actually raffling off the UNC, the patent UNCs, and then this one. And if you aren't following Shop Nice Kicks on Instagram, go ahead and follow them right now. The official release date for this shoe was February 15th of 2019, and this shoe retailed at a price point of $160 USD, which is pretty typical of a Jordan 1 shoe. Now add a couple dollars based on your taxes in your area. Concerning resale, looking at StockX, Grailed, or GOAT, you can easily see this shoe going for about $250 to about $300 just based on the sizing that you're needing. My first impression of the shoe, seeing it on the blogs online, I really didn't care too much for this shoe, and especially with the release of the Hyper Crimson shoes, especially since this model and that Hyper Crimson models, they're pretty much the same. The leather quality on the Hyper Crimsons was definitely not up to like normal Jordan 1 par, so I was kind of turned off. It kind of left a bad taste in my mouth when I saw this shoe. But I will say that I love the theming of the shoe and how it pays homage to the Charlotte Hornets. And growing up as a kid, I loved the basketball player Muggsy Bogues. He played for the Charlotte Hornets. Now, I loved him as a kid because Muggsy Bogues in real life was 5'3" and I think he weighed like 150 pounds, so that was definitely something that I could identify that. And I really loved his ability to maneuver between players that were like 6 foot, 7 foot high and just make those shots. It was just amazing to me. He could do anything, and like just being that short and going against people, it was just amazing. That saying, you can do anything you set your mind to, I applied that to Muggsy Bogues and applied that to my life. Before we delve into the specifics of the shoe, let's get into the shoe box. This is what it looks like when you buy it from the store. It is the black box and it has the Nike with the swoosh done up in red. At the front of the box, you have your sizing label right here, Nike right there, and you have Nike plastered on all sides of the box. On the bottom of the box, you have this trademark stickers talking about the swoosh, the Nike Air, all that stuff right here. Moving on to the specifics of the shoe, the upper is comprised of several different materials. You have your leather going on, you have your suede going on, and some nylon fabric. Taking a look at the lateral side of the shoe, which is the outside of the shoe, and the medial side of the shoe, the inside of the shoe, they look pretty similar, but they do have some differences. The faux strap, the heel cup, the Nike swoosh that runs from lateral to the medial side of the shoe, the eyelets forming the lacing system, and this toe box area. All of these areas are done in a suede material, and they are colored in that turbo green color. And honestly, I think the initial color of this suede paneling was gray, and then they just sprayed that turbo green on top of it to give it that like destroyed look, that distressed look, that vintage look. On the lateral side of the shoe, and typical to Jordan 1s, we have that Air Jordan Wings logo right here. It is pressed into the suede panel, and the paint that is inside it feels like an enamel white paint. Around the collar, in this panel right here that is under this faux strap, they're done in a gray suede material. And this material actually feels a little more stiff or harder than the turbo green suede. The quarter panels on both the lateral and the medial side of the shoe are done up in a white leather material. It is tumbled, but it doesn't feel like super buttery or super soft like we've seen on other previous Jordans as of late. But I will say that the leather on here feels a lot better than the ones that we received on the Hyper Crimson model. And actually, you can check out that Hyper Crimson review up there. On the lateral side of the shoe, we have some gray lettering going on. There's actually no gray lettering right here. It is absent on the medial side of the shoe. And this lettering says SP19 Spring 2019 Air Jordan 1 High OG. Now, I don't know if this takes away or enhances the shoe in any way. I'm not too sure what they were going for, if they were going for like that prototype model, but it really doesn't do too much, or I really have no opinion on it. And if you don't like it, you can take some acetone to it and wipe it away, and then just make sure you clear coat it. Matching the quarter panels of the shoe, we do have some of that white leather going on right here on the vamp area, which is enclosed within this toe box area. On this vamp, we have some holes which provide ventilation to the foot. Above that, we get into the lacing system, in which we touched on a little bit, talking about that paneling that goes down in that turbo green color. So we have some eyelets that are punched into those panels so the laces can feed through. The default laces are of a white color, a cotton build, and a flat shape, but I thought those were pretty boring, so I put these on the shoe. And these two sets of laces actually come inside the shoebox. So to my right, we have the turquoise colored ones, and to my left, we have the purple ones. And I would think that the purple ones are my favorite, the turquoise being second best, and the white ones dead last. And both of these sets are made out of that same cotton build and have that flat shape. Behind those sets of laces is the tongue, which is padded in white foam. Now, playing into that prototype look or that distressed look, we have some of that foam that is exposed at the top and around the tongue area. That foam is actually sandwiched in between two pieces of like a sail color nylon material. As you look to the top of the tongue, we have this white label in which it has the Nike Air words done up in yellow and the Nike swoosh done up in purple embroidery. And that's part of the reason why I like these purple laces, because these purple laces definitely coincide with that purple swoosh at the top of the label. Moving to the heel of the shoe, we can talk about the stability that the Jordan 1 provides. There is a lot of stability in the shoe because there is a TPU plate, a thermoplastic unit, that is behind all of this. So we have the TPU plate, and then we have like this leather, we have some padding going on in this suede material right there. And you'll know that TPU plate is on there when you try to press on it and you can't move it. It's really difficult to move. Also, you can hear it. Now, the lining of the shoe is done in that mesh material in that turquoise color, and it is padded on the lateral, the medial, and the heel portion of the shoe, but it's not super well padded. It's just padded enough. Removing the insole, we have a bed of turquoise fabric laid upon a thin piece of blue foam, and towards the heel area, we have that Nike Air logo done up in white. Getting into the midsole of the shoe, I love the fact that it's done up in a sail color as opposed to being done in that same white leather. I'm glad that they don't match. It gives the shoe the vibes that it's vintage, it's old, or it's oxidizing. I just kind of like that look. The midsole is mostly comprised of a rubber compound. There is some technology involved with it, being that it is a Nike Air shoe. There is a Nike Air unit at the heel area for when you make impact onto the ground. It acts as if it was a shock absorber for your foot. Turning to the outsole of the shoe, and in its traditional Jordan 1 form, we have the traction marks going on. Now, in this particular case, it's done in a gray color. And I like that the gray on the outsole is a little bit darker darker than the gray that is on the collar area of the shoe. It's definitely giving the shoe a little more personality. Now the outsole is made out of a blown rubber component, and that enables the shoe to be flexible for when you take your steps inside the shoe. In terms of sizing, I usually rock a size 8.5 or a 9, 8.5 being my true to size. Now I have about a half an inch from the top of the toe to the top of the toe box area, and I would consider this a really good fit. Again, it is true to size. In terms of comfort, this shoe, it is a Jordan 1, so it doesn't offer too much in terms of support, arch support, or a cushioning system. I mean, we still have that Nike Air unit in the heel, but pretty sure it doesn't do too much. We do have this stability at the back of the foot, which feels pretty good to the foot. For my needs, I usually get an insole that has arch support and a little more cushioning than the insole that is provided inside the shoe, especially since the insole is this thin. My final thoughts on the Jordan 1 Turbo Greens. Overall, I think the shoe is a decent shoe. The materials used on it are of an okay quality. It's definitely not the best that I've seen from the Jordan brand as of late. I think the theming and basing this off of the Charlotte Hornets colorways, I thought that was a good idea, especially being that the All-Star Weekend for 2019 was held in Charlotte, North Carolina. I wouldn't say that had I missed the chance to buy this at retail that I would buy it on the resale market. I don't think paying $250 to $300 for this particular shoe is worth it. Maybe I could apply it to something else. Alright guys, I think this is a good stopping point for this video. What do you think about the Jordan 1s, the Turbo Greens? Do you think this is the most hyped shoe released during All-Star Weekend 2019? Let me know your thoughts about this shoe down in the comments below. Go ahead and check out my Instagram, Chris.Catalunya with the _ at the end. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. And again, once we hit that 8,000 subscriber mark, I definitely want to do that raffle or giveaway. Alright guys, I am Chris Catalunya, and we will check you next time. Cheers, sige na!